In this video, we're going to be talking about what's in my bag. Let's go put around.
Hit the ball!
Hey guys, David Folk here. On this channel, we do golf club reviews, Geek Speak videos, instructional videos, and golf gear videos just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Alright guys, let's take a look at what is in my bag. I know a couple of you have been asking me what am I playing currently. And let's start with the driver here. The driver I'm currently playing is obviously going to be the Titleist 917 D2. It's a 10.5 degree. I have it set to D4 on the lefty settings. And I'm playing a Rip Alpha shaft from Aldila. I did have originally a Rogue Silver shaft in there, which I really liked. I got rid of it for some reason, and I went to a Rip Phenom, which just wasn't the right shaft for me. I found this bad boy, I picked it up, and I couldn't be happier with this Rip Alpha shaft. It's very similar to the Rogue Silver in terms of flight characteristics, low launch, low spin, especially with the 10.5 degree. That's going to be perfect for me trying to get that optimum launch angle and whatnot. So I am very happy with this. Dispersion is still keeping me in the fairway, not hitting it out of bounds. Couldn't be happier. Next, I am playing the Titleist 712U. It is a 2-iron. This is going to be their forged utility. I've been playing this for about a year, maybe a year and a half now, and I couldn't be happier with this either. It has a Dynamic Gold X100 shaft in it, which is a little stiffer than what I'd like. It's a launching just a little lower than I'd like, but it does the job for what I'm shooting for. Right now, it probably carries about 235, 240, and if I'm hitting it off the tee, I'm probably getting about 250-ish carry plus roll. So, you know, if I'm hitting it solid, if I'm hitting it well, it's going to go a little further. If I'm hitting it a little worse, you know, catching it thin or catching on the toe, it's going to go a little shorter. So it is a little bit more punishing than other utility irons out there, but I like the way it feels. I like the way it sits down by the ground. It performs well for me, and so that's why it's still in my bag. Next, all of my irons and all of my wedges. So the rest of my bag, minus the putter, is going to be the Pinhawk single length irons here. I am playing the Pinhawk single lengths for a specific purpose, which we'll talk about next week out on the course and kind of what I'm trying to do with the single length irons. But all of them are going to be 37 inches. All of them have an FST 115 shaft in them with a swing weight of D2. This specifically is a 4 hybrid, and I'm debating between the 4 hybrid and the 4 iron. This one tends to launch a little higher, but it tends to draw a little bit more just because of the weighting of the club versus the irons themselves. So I'm kind of debating on that. Both of them seem to go the exact same distance, which is right around 220. And that's going to be probably 215 carry plus a little bit more roll depending on how I strike it. And I'll do a video to see how the hybrid compares to the 4 iron to help you guys see which one may be the better choice for you. So I couldn't be happier with how they're performing in general for the clubs themselves. So if I take a look at the pitching wedge for me goes 150. That's what my old pitching wedge does. These have more traditional lofts than game improvement irons, despite having a game improvement look. The pitching wedge, I believe, is 47 degrees. It has a 3mm offset. Every single Pinhawk has a 3mm offset. They have a little bit of a thicker top line, a little bit of a thicker sole as well. All of them come with the same shaft, and it's all going to be D2. So basically all they've done is they have adjusted the lofts in all these clubs to try and get you to swing the exact same every single time with all the clubs. As we look at the Pinhawks, the 4 iron and 5 iron do fly lower than my old 4 iron and 5 iron from the 731 PMs from Titleist that I was gaming previously, which I still have, by the way. And the pitching wedge, the 9 iron, 8 iron fly much higher than my old pitching wedge, 9 iron and 8 iron. But the distance that I'm seeing is actually very comparable for what I'm getting. My pitching wedge went 150 with my old 731s. My pitching wedge here goes 150. The biggest difference is the launch angle, how high it goes, and I feel like this is a lack of spin. I'm getting less spin on here, but because the descent angle is so steep on these guys, and I don't feel like the wind is blowing it left or right too much more than any other club I would use, like the 731s, I feel like I get the same net result with these guys as I would with the 731s. I mean, I've played in windy conditions and basically calm conditions, and I've seen similar results with this that I would expect from my other clubs, my previous clubs that I was playing. So I couldn't be happier with how they're performing. Looks-wise, I'm not necessarily the super fan of. I would like to see a little bit less offset in general for all of the clubs, but I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it more game improvement-y for the vast majority of golfers. I would like to see something that has like maybe 1.5 millimeter offset versus the offset that they use here. But again, it performs well for me. It's doing exactly what I want. My scores reflect that they're performing well. So this is the pitching wedge. Again, all of them are similar. So if I pull out my lob wedge, this is kind of where it gets really scary. You see how much offset is on that. I mean, that's just like a chunk out of it for my lob wedge. When I first started using this, I was choking down all the way down here to the bottom, trying to get used to the length of it. I just couldn't get that feel down. But nowadays, I'm holding it up here. I'm trying to work on my shorter distances just because it's longer and it performs a little differently than my other wedges, like the Cleveland CBX wedge that I was using or the Titleist wedges that I was using. It performs just a little bit different than that, so I got to get used to how it's going to react and the distances I need to swing and what's a 50-yard swing and what's a 70-yard swing. So it takes some getting used to for sure, but I can still feel like I have control over the shot. If I want to hit a low shot, I want to hit a high shot, I feel like I have control over that as well. So it's performing well net overall versus a traditional wedge that I have here. And again, the same goes for all of the bags. And the last club, but not the least club, is going to be the Scotty Cameron Newport 2 Detour. I've had this club basically since I bought it new, so many years ago. I keep trying to take it out of the bag and replace it with something, but I just can't find something that's going to be a better putter than this. I have like 4 Scotty Camerons. I've tried Odysseys. And this always seems to find its way back into my bag. So I love it. It looks funky. You have to get used to the tongue that sticks out here. It doesn't look normal. It has a 30-gram weight back here as well, which is a little heavier than other weights that are in the Newport 2 Detours. But I like the way it feels. I like the way it feels off the face. I like the weighting of it. It's just a solid putter that I feel confident that if I make the stroke I want, the ball's going to go in the hole. And really, that's all you can ask from a putter, right? So I'm very happy with how this performs, very happy with how this looks. Not much more you can ask for than that. And finally, the last thing that's in my bag here is going to be this Rucket Golf warm-up swing weight thing. It's similar to the Orange Whip. I got this with the net and the mat that I use for my dry ball testing. It kind of came as a package. I think it ran me like 50 or 60 bucks. I'll put a link in the description for Amazon if you guys are interested in taking a look at something like this. I use this specifically when I don't get out on the range to warm up before a round, specifically when I go out to do club testing. I usually don't hit a bucket of balls. I just go out there. I swing this maybe 10 times or so. It feels good, warms up all my muscles. I stretch a little bit, and then off I go filming and recording and hitting some golf balls. So it does really well. I like the way it feels. It does take some getting used to. I had some of my students who played golf in high school. They tried this out, and definitely took some getting used to for them and how they swing to make sure, I want you to come back and stop and then come through and stop. So it's definitely something that's going to take some getting used to there. But I like it. That's why it's in my bag. It keeps me warm, keeps me playing, helps me when I make videos like we're going to be doing next week, talking about why these clubs are in my bag. So I look forward to hearing your comments down below, guys. If you guys have tried out the Pinhawks or are using the D2 917 or any other clubs or have any questions, go ahead and post those down below. I try to get to everybody's comments and questions. And of course, while you're down there, guys, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up because YouTube likes that. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you next time.